What's going on, guys? This is Kaishra. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. On this video, we're going to cover our usual OCG Metagame report with decklist review. So we are going to tackle tournament results and we are going to browse through their decklists for the past 2 weeks. We have April 14 to April 25. So we do have a 2 week span of tournament data and info. So without further ado, let's start. Coming at first, we have Berao card game, BCG, weekly tournament. On first here, we have Heroes. So, no Maxi, no? On the main deck. I'm really surprised because who didn't take out Maxi in the OCG format, no? So, instead, he played Talent and Trust on the main deck to answer the coveted hand traps. The much more coveted hand traps right now in the format, which are very prevalent on Tenpai and other decks that are hand trap heavy. So, yeah. Next, we have Pendulum Magician with Supreme King Pendulum Magician. So just the standard build of Pendulum Magician with the Spellcaster of the Village in the main deck with triple Dragon Shrine. So I'm not really sure on the third copy of Dragon Shrine. Maybe I want to trim down the copy of this card into 2, but that's just my preference. But this card is still 1 card combo and provides immense value of card advantages. Next, we have Rika with Tyrion. So basically plant link based deck with Sun Avalon as well. So 48 card main deck, no? Quite extensive, and played no Maxi as well on the main deck. Really interesting. And on the side deck, it only plays 7 cards. And yeah, I place Small World to boost the consistency. And Dark Ruler No More, very surprising on the main deck. Another interesting inclusion here on this tournament. And yeah, moving on, we have Bandung Duelist weekly tournament. On first place here, we have Chimera with Illusionist. So yeah, just the standard Chimera Illusionist build with the Diabel Z. Very insane card for the Chimera. And also on the side deck, played triple Droplet and triple D barrier. So Droplet is very strong on the format right now, especially Yubel is very prominent. So Droplet is very strong against that, and also the barrier, which is very strong against Tenpai. And yeah, moving on, we have Tenpai. Speaking of the devil, we have Tenpai here. So this Tenpai plays a lot of going second cards on the main deck, Lightning Storm, and played Super Poly as well, and also played Called by the Grave. No, very interesting and unusual. You don't really see Called by on the main deck of Tenpai every day. So I think I would really drop off the Called by in replacement of more hand drops. So yeah, moving on, we have third place Albert Tenpai Dragon. So yeah, that's what I am saying earlier. The Tenpai standard builds doesn't run Called by, but instead plays more hand traps like Droll, Ghost Ogre, and Shifter, because those are the bread and butter of your hand cards when you are going second, of course. So yeah, played Santa Claus on the side deck. Very strong, can trade 1 for 1. Can replace the boss monster of your opponent with the Santa Claus, much more like a kaiju. And yeah, moving on, we have Purely 4th place. So yeah, triple talent on the Purely. It's not really surprising because most Purely Japanese builds are playing triple talent on the main deck. And yeah, summon limit on the side deck, very strong for Purely. Once you set up Noir with summon limit, it's pretty much game over for the opponent. And yeah, moving on, we have ranking tournament from Monopolies. So first place here, we have Fluandris. So bunch of going first cards here on the main deck with the Snowl and the Dark Simorgh. I wonder why he is playing Dark Simorgh. Maybe he's trying to defeat those back row decks. And Kaiser and Featherstorm and the Barrier, very interesting choices on the main deck, no, with the Waterbury Statue. So he just wants to stun the opponent and win the game from going first. And next, we have another Fluandris. So double Fluandris top on this tournament. This time, much more standard version of Fluandris, just the usual Imper, Maxi, and Ash with the Dimension Fissure. So yeah, moving on, we have Snake Eyes, Fire King, and played the Volcanics on the main deck. This is a debate for most Fire King players whether they would play Volcanics on the main deck or just play the standard Fire King cards with the Snake Eyes. So yeah, it's been up in the air, depends on the pilot whether they would incorporate this card or not. But for me, I would rather opt to don't include this card on the main deck just to have more rooms for hand trap. And yeah, moving on, we have another Fire King. So like I've said earlier, some people that plays Fire King opts to not play that card on the main deck and just the standard Bonfire and the Snake Eyes card, Ash and Poplar. So yeah, it's just the usual Fire King Snake Eyes deck list. And yeah, moving on, we have Duelist Dewata ranking tournament. On the champion of the tournament, we have Melodious. So yeah, Melodious played double Ash only on the main deck. Very interesting. I think he is not that afraid that much against Maxi, but I would rather opt to max out the copies of Ash. But instead, he played Droll and Ghost Ogre. Wise choice against the format right now. Ogre is very strong against Tenpai, and Droll can be good against combo decks on the format like Supreme King Melodious. So yeah, moving on, we have Tenpai Dragon. This time it played Raigeki on the main deck, so interesting choice. And on the side deck, it played Red Reboot, another card that is rising in popularity. We are seeing a lot of trap cards right now in the format that are being played, so Red Reboot are gaining traction as well. So I think it would definitely benefit the Tenpai a lot because Red Reboot is very strong. It can nullify the Judgment, it could fizzle counter traps, so I think this is the correct option when going second. You just play Red Reboot just to have safe countermeasures to answer those trap cards. And next we have Vanquish Shoal with Snake Eyes, very spicy from Alex. So yeah, it played bunch of hand traps with Poplar and Ash. So you just go off using the Snake Eyes when comboing off just the usual Ambluwhale and Promethean on the graveyard. And Vanquish Shoal adds elements to bolster the going second capacity of this Vanquish Shoal deck. But I think I would rather play out the Snake Eyes line of play when going first rather than the Vanquish Shoal. And yeah, on the side deck, it played Kurikara Divine Carnate. I think this card is very underrated. Most people are not playing Kurikara enough on the format, but I think this card does have a spot on the format right now. And then next we have Horus Metabit. So played the Border and bunch of hand traps now played Nibiru and Gamma on the main deck. It's very surprising because stun decks often play out Floodgate and other cards like Talent, and it's quite anomaly to see hand traps being played on the Horus stun. And yeah, I think this list is very well made for Prana Ekawan. So I think moving forward, I think people should play more hand traps on Horus stun because the deck doesn't really have a very bad going second, but I think it could be better using the hand traps. And yeah, I think you would suffer less from going second when you play cards like Nibiru and Gamma on the main deck. And yeah, moving on, we have Casual Weekly Tournament from Twin Boards and Cafe, Board Game Cafe. We have Fiendlink, Yubel. So yeah, just a standard Fiendlink. But it played the Magnamut and Druid Storm on the main deck. Now I wonder why maybe the locals are filled with Yubel or voiceless voice players. And yeah, played Spell Canceller on the side deck. I'm not really sure if I'm remembering the name of the card correctly, but yeah, I think it's really strong when going first. And Phantasmi, Triple Phantasmi, just to respect the link based decks. Next we have Dino, 60 card Dino with Evil Tsar and Sinful Spoils. So played Sinful Spoils, no? Maybe he wants to have better cards to fetch off the level 1 fire of this deck from the Evil Tsar. And Poplar, of course, as well. It doesn't play Silvera on the main deck. Yeah, it doesn't play Silvera. But I don't know a lot of cards on the main deck. The trap cards on this list, I am not really familiar with those cards. But on the side deck, played Kurikara as well. I think the Indonesian people are trying to play Kurikara on their side deck. And yeah, I think it's just a card that is very strong on the Sinful Spoils decks. And yeah, Threatening Roar, of course, on the side deck can be really solid option to play out against Tenpai. You literally scream no battle phase on their turn. So yeah, I think this is very strong against Tenpai. And next we have Fire King from Steven. So another spell canceller on the side deck. I am really baffled because I'm not expecting this card to be going first deck on the side deck. And yeah, played Monster Reborn, of course, to extend combos and talent, one talent only. I'm really not sure if that's the correct way to go. I think I would benefit more from playing double talent on the main deck. And yeah, triple Lancea. I think there's a lot of Fluanderis going around in the local metagame scene. So Lancea, just to be safe, just to have outlets to hurt the Fluanderis. And next we have Tenpai. So another Tenpai with bunch of Delta package on the main deck. Bunch of Delta cards and Gamma cards as well. So it doesn't play Gamma, it only played Delta. Very interesting. And Prohibition on the side deck. Very spicy choice from this Justinus. And then moving on, we have Butuan Yu-Gi-Oh! Community local tournament. We have first place. We have ABC Synchro Horus. So I think it's 6 or 7 months already that I have seen the last ABC top. And yeah, I think ABC is very underutilized deck. Most people are not really inclined to play the deck because they think that the deck is bad or outdated already. But I think there are lists that like this, it played Synchro and Horus, that could enable the potential of the ABC. I think it's a solid combo deck and underutilized. People should definitely check out ABC. And yeah, moving on, we have Mechanco Dogmatica with Kaiju. So yeah, I played the Maximus and Ferdily on the main deck, and doesn't play Dogmatica Punishment. Just to have Maximus on board as well is enough for this deck. And played triple copies of Diviner on the side deck. I think it could definitely start your place when going first. So that's why he opted to play this card. And yeah, I think it's a really solid list of Mechanco. And kinda different as well from the usual Mechanco builds. And moving on, we have Time Walk ranking tournament. First place here, we have Labyrinth. So just the standard Labyrinth, no? Nothing too extravagant and fancy. Just the standard usual Labyrinth with skill drain and rivalry, of course, to bolster the going first capacity of this deck. And next we have Voiceless Voice. So yeah, Voiceless Voice, standard as well. Play triple Diviner and double pre-prep and the pot cards. But it's kind of different when we consider the fact that the most played Voiceless Voice right now has the Nadir package and Garura on the main deck and extra deck. But right now, people are going back towards the extravagance and prosperity. I wonder why, but I think the Nadir package is much more better. It's just kinda bad against the mirror match and hardly loses to Droll as well. And next we have Matmech. So yeah, very cooked list here of Matmech. I think I don't know the card after the IP Mascarena. I'm not really sure on the name of this card, but yeah, other than that, a very solid list of Matmech. Played triple Signet and triple Small World, just the right amount of consistency cards. And next we have WoW Volcanic. So talk about hot weather in tropical country in the Philippines. So Volcanic really spiced up our report this week. So yeah, really interesting. Played Snake Eyes on the Volcanic, and yeah, it played of course the Poplar and Ash just to have outlets towards the Ambluil and the Promethean and Volcanic, no? We couldn't really say too much on Volcanic. I think it's a very complex deck, but it played really strong on dealing with time because it has burn damage. So you just stall the game and burn for time, and I think that's very unhealthy for Volcanic. But yeah, it is what it is, and I think Volcanic can definitely snatch up victories when we consider that those capabilities are very prominent on the time rules of the current format. And next we have Duelist Devata ranking tournament. On first place here we have Melodious. So I think, yeah, we do have a lot of Melodious recently, and I think most people are gunning to play Melodious because its budget, of course, doesn't really spend too much to play the deck, and it's kinda solid as well. You can upgrade it with the Supreme King engine, and it will definitely pay off. And yeah, moving on, we have Volcanic. So another Volcanic. So we have two Volcanic tops on our report here. This time it's just the more standard version of Volcanic. The earlier list of Volcanic is very crazy, but now we have a more standard and usual list of Volcanic. Play the Bonfire, of course, and the Snake Eyes as well. Play the Sinful Spoils, and yeah, Forbidden Droplet, very strong from the Volcanic deck. And yeah, moving on, we have Tenpai. So this time plays Raigeki as well on the main deck with Double Trust. I think he has license to play Trust and Raigeki because his locals doesn't really have that much Omni Negate, given that Volcanic and Melodious are there. And yeah, Triple Nibiru on the main deck, kinda strong as well to hurt the combo decks, and Triple Droll as well. So he has options to play against the combo decks. And yeah, triple Winter Cherries, and I played the Bacha on the extra deck just to have cards to exclude this on the Melodious matchup. And I played Tenpai Dragon card, and rather the Ritual Beast card on the extra deck. So he has Ritual Beast matchups as well on their locals, and played Mourner. So Mourner have been falling off lately on that Tenpai deck list, and some people are not even playing this card. They would rather play Phantasmi or Ghost Bell. But I think Mourner does have a spot on the format right now. I think it's very strong on some matchups. And next we have Monarch. It's been so long as well when I have saw Monarch topping result, and this time it played Jinzo. So he has Trap Hit on his disposal, and played Maxi on the side deck. Doesn't play Morganite, no? Doesn't even want to play that card on this list, and instead played Ancham of Fright to boost the draw power, and you also don't play extra deck cards, so Ancham of Fright really fits in on the deck. So yeah, Monarch, good old Monarch, does want to stand the opponent, control the match, and win the game from there. The problem is the deck is really bricky, and I'm not really sure if it's worth it to play right now, given that most decks are very high tempo, very consistent, and has a lot of one card combos. So yeah, good job on him for winning using Monarch. And yeah, that sums up our OCG Metagame Report and decklist reviews of Uncrowned Kings Local Metagame Report. So if you have time, you can visit our page on Facebook, drop a like, and follow this page as well so that you can get updated. So once again, thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next one. Peace.